All right, everybody. Welcome to the Nick's Boots from Start to Finish podcast. I am Shuyler Mao, your host. I'm joined here by Mike Hunter, the fourth. We're going to be trying something new and trying to get a podcast out each week. We'll be doing like a full format podcast every other week, and then we'll have these as kind of an update, kind of behind the scenes, like what we're working on, what problems we're facing, what projects we're working on, etc. And hopefully that is interesting to you guys, and we'll kind of see. We've got Andrew here. Kelsey's got to take her cat to the vet. Just a routine checkup, so it's all good. But Andrew, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. All right. Well, what's been going on these past few weeks? Mr. Hunter, go.
Well, we are launching into a couple of big projects with production. We're doing the boot for Rose Anvil.
Well, the ND3s are coming through.
ND3, we did like 91 pair, I think. Was it this week or the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Really big push there. So we're doing those, and
tell me what's kind of different or unique about those.
that one is it's a 360 stitch down. It's also a lace to toe vamp design. And so it still has a alignment patch for cosmetic.
And we're doing a leather midsole, right?
No, actually, it's rubber.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's more along our waterproof
The waterwork, yeah.
style.
Yeah.
So that's a big push.
I heard the first couple were, well, not challenging. Like we obviously made them perfectly, but took a little change.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a deviation from what we normally do, but at the end of the day, it's actually a little bit easier as far as the 360 goes for the shoemaking department and myself. Yes,
okay. It's a little tougher.
It's a little more for the sewers. The sewing
yes.
department, it's a bit of a burden, but
yeah.
Hey,
it's a cool looking boot.
That's what we do.
See them coming through. They look great. So kind of excited about that. Anything else?
We're trying to ramp up. We've got a lot of new faces in the shop, in the boot shop now, and they're starting to get the program, and so we're hoping maybe that the numbers, the production numbers per day, we can start.
They're creeping up.
Yeah,
creeping up.
bumping up a little bit. It was horrible for about 2 weeks, man. We
terrible.
were just really struggling to get the boots out.
You know, it's funny. Like I could never get this through these days, but like when we had the masking requirements,
oh boy,
people hated it, but they did not get sick.
Yeah, we were
awesome.
a lot less sick. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I hate wearing a mask, but because
no, you're pushy.
I would just do this. And,
well, no, I missed. I didn't talk about it, but it's happy Halloween. This is This is a great Halloween costume you got going here.
This is my normal look. This is what I look like every day.
I was curious what you were dressing up as.
Well, my wife actually, I took a bunch of scrap leather, and my wife made her costume this year. It's like a Valkyrie, like a warrior.
Very cool.
Nordic warrior whatever.
Sure.
She looks amazing, man. It's super cool. I took some pictures. Maybe I'll get her permission and make sure it's okay with her, and we can actually say this is leather that was in Nick's boots.
Yeah, no, I love that. We had Nick was Scooby-Doo today, which is a good look. I think I'll post some pictures on the Reddit on this, but so Nick came in today and he saw a lot of clones because everyone decided to dress up like Nick.
So awesome.
So, I think what's crazy is like Nick has a very distinctive style. It's distinctive enough that production. So Nick used to work in production,
Right.
That the production team dressed up as Nick as well when Halloween. So these were like conversion evolution. They both came about independently, but people are so struck by Nick's unique look that they want to replicate it. Pretty cool. What else is going on? So we're getting the last of the Brandle components here. It's really kind of the last hurdle. So we're ordering. It's tough developing a whole new supply chain because like basically nothing is shared with the normal Nix line. And so we have to get different midsoles, different heel stacks, different nails, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Different counters, different toe puffs.
Yeah, the only thing that's really going to be the same is the craftsman putting them together.
That's right.
For the most part, everything else is a whole new,
new world.
So.
Yeah, and it will be going to kind of our most senior people too. So,
sure. Stands to reason.
But yeah, there's I'd say the only other crossover is kind of at that opening price point for the Brandle. It'll be the double stuff leather. So we'll kind of be using that as well.
Yep.
And then we go up to the calf.
Right. That's right.
Go to the the shell cord in there at the top end. We've also got some new patterns coming through. They've been made, and now we're just basically lasting them and kind of seeing what they actually look like. These are new work boot patterns, super secret. But I guess not that secret that I'm talking about it in a public format. But no, I think they're going to be really cool. We're trying to we're trying to improve on some of the, I think, ideas around the log.
Hopefully to alleviate some of the classic trouble spots, that we've had with our logger boots in the past. And, there was actually, not the greatest Nomer was the Nix boot bite. So trying to get that taken
that's
care
one of them.
of.
There's a couple other things. I think it'd be cool.
Sure.
So I think it's kind of a more thoughtful approach to kind of our
absolutely.
Our work boots. We'll still offer the old ones, but these will just be kind of a step up.
It's just a new approach.
Yep, exactly. We've got Mahogany 64 coming in. So I am debating. So what do you think, Mike? What do you think about walnut?
I think, in the old days, years ago, before you and your dad were even around, the walnut leather we had was, it was probably the stiffest hide we used. It was like strapping a piece of plywood to your leg, man. It was something. And through the course of time, things change. Tanning is a little different now. There's just different ways that manufacturers have to do things. And I've never been a big fan of the walnut leather.
So it's what's called an alpine tannage, similar to our Max Support Black, which is essentially a drier tannage, which is why we call it the Max Support. It's stiffer. Takes longer to break in. It does have some pros, like if you like that classic logger standalone boot that sticks up on its own, that's the leather to go to. Sometimes these other more oil tanned leathers will kind of get loose and make it a little floppy, like over time. I tend to agree with you. It's a fairly common leather within our PNW niche as well, which I don't love. And so this Mahogany 64 is potentially a replacement for it. We've posted online. I think it's a really pretty leather. It's kind of similar to the 64 Brown in that it's got some pull up, it's got some visual interest to it, but still obviously has all the durability aspect of the work leathers.
And that's important, even though it may be a little more uncomfortable at first, at the end of the day, it's super durable. So if all of our boots are going to be durable. Everything that we make, we try to make long lasting but for a work leather, that stuff is turning out to be like the black is turning out to be pretty tough, man. It's a good hide. It's a good skin. So it's exciting in that regard.
Yeah, so I think I don't know, we'll see. Kind of see how it goes, and maybe
Sure.
they exist in parallel for a while, but I do think eventually you could see the walnut going away and be replaced by this mahogany. Leather jackets. So if you bought a leather jacket from us, the leather was shipped from the tannery and should be arriving at the cut and sew factory that's going to be working on it here. And so those will actually probably be shipping fairly shortly.
Cool.
And then we do have a new Sierra Chelsea that we're launching, that we're putting up there. One of our influencer friends is kind enough to promote it for us. I think it is one of the first Chelseas we'll have on that pattern, or on that sole.
Yeah.
And should be I think it's a good looking boot, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I actually, I mean, that's Chelsea's not necessarily my style, but that boot in particular kind of caught my eye when we put one out.
What is your style?
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, black.
What are your boots? I saw you wearing them last week.
My boot, the latest pair that I got,
Black waxed?
it's black waxed flush, which is pretty cool because at the sole stitcher, that thing throws a lot of crud, and I've noticed just I'm still breaking them in, but
You mean the stitcher?
the sole stitcher,
Yeah.
it throws wax and oil and
Yep.
you know,
'Cause you have to
leather
lubricate
dust.
the needle.
Yeah, all just it's just it's kind of a messy machine. But the black wax flesh seems to really resist the regular black leather. I have a pair of, basically it's an old school hot shot. It's actually welted. It's probably one of the last welted boots we ever made. And the thing about that is that stuff will stick pretty good to that rough outside of that leather. So it's harder for me to clean it.
Yeah.
But that wax flesh, it just seems to wipe right off. It's I like it. It's what I was hoping for. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a wedge. It's a little bit of a kind of a test
Is it laced?
boot. It's laces, yeah. I'm gonna get a tanker next, but this one has laces. It has a sole that we don't necessarily offer
Oh, yeah.
just yet.
So I've talked about this a little bit online. So we are replacing the Christie with what we are basically waiting for test results to confirm what we suspect, which is kind of a more durable version that will look similar. So it's a little bit of a different compound. I detect the Andrew. He's wearing another one of the prototypes right now. He's actually combined it with the Delta Arch, which is awesome.
I think I have the same thing.
And he says it's one of the most comfortable boots he's ever had.
It's pretty nice, man.
Yeah.
And I have some issues with my feet, and it's been a little more difficult in the recent years for me to wear a stiff leather sole boot. But that particular, he did the same thing for me in my new pair, and that seems to really have taken a lot of that pressure out for me. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, the Delta Arch we'll talk a little bit about. I think it's not. There's a reason why we're not calling it the 55 like wedge, because it's not exactly the same variance,
Right.
Toe and heel that the 55 provides.
No.
But it's noticeably more pronounced than your like H&W.
Yes.
It does really approach that level of support. And I do think like it was a really smart way for us to do this. And you guys did a great job developing it. That maybe like provides, very near the level of support, but also kind of provides more flexibility on like which applications it can be used in.
Little more flex, a little more cushion.
Yeah.
I also put it on the Thurman, the 55 Thurman last, which was suggested to me. And of course, I come from way back, and we used to call that a swing last.
Okay.
Because it kind of swings on your outside, on that little toe area. It gets a kind of a swing out there.
Well, that was, yeah.
It's a little different.
No, I mean, it's a little different, but one of our competitors has a swing last.
Yes.
This was my attempt at making something that's different, but also provides some similar benefits.
At first, I balked, because, I'm just so used to the classic look of even the 67 last, you know. But after it was built and I put it on, it's super comfortable. There's so much toe room, and
yeah,
you know,
a pair of Builder Pros that
I'm not getting younger. The funny thing, I will say though, the funny thing is I brought those home and my wife actually asked me, "Is that a Nick's boot?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "That doesn't even look like a Nick's boot." And I said, "Well, it does now."
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've expanded pretty dramatically. Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny, you know.
No,
it's
I mean,
the old classic.
I know. I mean, it's something we got to balance, right? Like staying true to the heritage, but also
sure.
How do we get better? You
Yeah,
know,
well, and offer more
things.
You know, a wider range of comfort and so on and so forth.
Okay, we'll get to a couple questions. This is from Reddit. One, is there a reason that the Weather Shield leathers don't come in rough out? The reason is essentially because the rough out is more water absorbent than the smooth side, and so that kind of defeats the benefit.
Yeah,
the short answer.
Yeah, we always used to tell, even way back in the day before we ever had anything like that Weather Shield, the rough out side is not actually the finished side of the hide. The smooth side is the finished side. So it's going to offer more water resistance.
Yep.
And then, you know, but the rough out side does offer some more scratch resistance. Nevertheless, with that particular leather, if that's what you're looking for, the rough outside isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix. It's impregnated with the silicone to kind of have the full treatment. But it then is also coated as well, and so you kind of see that waxy film on top of it.
It's made to. It's really made to be built on the smooth side.
Yep.
That's you know.
So that's the longer version of the short answer. Another question: why is my midsole picking up this discoloration? It's the leather turned more white after wiping it with a damp rag. The short answer to this is we use a water-soluble dye to color our edges, Fibing's edge dressing, and so over time it wears off.
It does.
It's kind of just part of the process with these boots. Now, like there are more color fast dyes that can be used. They complicate our production process because one of the benefits of having a water-soluble dye is if you make a mistake,
you can fix it.
And so it has been something we've thought about on like maybe the Sprandal line or something like that, using more permanent dyes. And so I think that's a possibility. But for now, it's anything to add?
I mean, you know, you can get dye and you know, polish your shoes just like you would any other kind of shoe. I mean, we do use, depending on what style of shoe it is, or even if the midsole wasn't even dyed in the first place, if it was beeswax, that could be turning white as well. Possibly.
No, I saw this picture.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's like you know,
it got wet
like that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's, you know, I think maybe our midsole. I mean, it looks like a natural.
Sure.
So it kind of looks white, but it's not.
Yeah.
And so mine like snow generally. Will totally wipe it out.
Oh yeah.
That's generally the one where I see it. I don't care though. I think it looks kind of cool. And like it's kind of character.
I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for cosmetically. Yeah. You know?
But you can always touch it up.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's funny.
Yeah.
We have people who call our heel stacks wood.
Right.
Like the wood.
Oh, believe me, back in the day before I was so much more involved with, you know, the actual management of production, I did a lot of sales, and you know, I've done all the different kind of skills back there. I was on the sales floor one day, and I could not. I'm a shoemaker, working on these shoes, and I could not convince the customer that was a leather stack.
It's so funny.
No, it can't be leather. That's got to be wood. Sir.
Well, it's a long line of people who've worked in the store who have
trust me,
been boot makers.
I can tell you. You know,
Nick did that. Yeah, big Stetson, as you guys know.
I just call him Tex.
Yeah. Text from Iowa.
Yeah, text from Iowa.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So that's it. This is the short format. Give me some feedback on Reddit or otherwise. We'll kind of continue to evolve. I really appreciate you listening. Mikey, thank you for joining.
Bet.
Sharing your knowledge.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Love it.
Hopefully we can kind of keep this going. Andrew, thanks again.
Thank you, Andrew.
Nice work. Nice work. And listeners, thanks again. Please leave a review. We'd love to get this out there. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google, wherever you consume your podcasts. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Far out.